Hello everyone, welcome to today's class, and our title today is Gaming Addiction. Let's move on to language focus. 1번. If Statistics Korea, the organization that marks the KSD, refuses to do so, it will be a first in the organization's history. Okay, so I missed out the but I have highlighted a first in the organization's history. Now, when do we use this? Use a first to express that it is the first time something has ever happened in some context. Example, in history or if something, or in the history of something, or in the experience of one person. Note that for this usage, it becomes a first, not the first. Okay, so a first, 최초로, 처음으로, 어떤 맥락에서 처음 일어난 일을 표현할 때 쓰인다. 예를 들어서 어떤 곳에 역사상 또는 한 사람의 경험에서 처음으로. So, if we have a look at the first example here. If Chris and Gina can go for 1 week without fighting, it will be a first in their marriage. 크리스랑 지나 싸우지 않고 일주일 동안 지날 수 있다면 그들의 결혼 생활에서 처음 있는 일일 것이다. They don't sound very happy as a married couple. Or, I recently watched a whole movie in Korean without subtitles. That was a first for me. So, 저는 최근에 한국어로 된 영화를 자막 없이 전부 봤어요. 제겐 처음 있는 일이었습니다. Alright, so a first. Like the first that something has happened in some context, in history or in someone's life. Alright, moving on to 2번 now. It remains to be seen how the disagreement will be resolved. Okay, so it remains to be seen how the disagreement will be resolved. Use it will remain to be seen to express that something is not clear. It is more formal. It is a more formal way of saying nobody knows yet. So it remains to be seen. 아직 확실하지 않다. 두고 봐야 할 일이다. 아직 알 수 없다. 예를 들어서 아직 아무도 모른다에 더 격식 있는 표현이다. So, if we look at our example sentences, it remains to be seen what Marissa's parents will say about her new tattoo. So, Marissa's parents haven't seen her new tattoo. So, Marissa의 새 문신에 그녀의 부모님이 뭐라고 하실지는 아직 알 수 없다. Now, whether they like the tattoo, whether they dislike the tattoo, it remains to be unseen. Alright. It remains to be seen who will win the election. I think we're talking about the US election. It remains to be seen who will win the election. 누가 선거에서 우승할지 아직 확실하지 않다. So, there's a lot of elections happening everywhere in the world at the moment, but the biggest election is obviously the American election, and it remains to be seen who will win. Okay, now let's look at the language focus quiz. 1번. I recently, that was a first for me. So if we scroll back up, I recently, it was a first for me. So what did we say? A first, 최초로, 처음으로, 어떤 맥락에서 처음 일어난 일을 표현할 때 쓰인다. So, the example was if Chris and Gina can go for 1 week without fighting, it will be the first time in their marriage. 크리스랑 지나 싸우지 않고 일주일 동안 지날 수 있다면 그들의 결혼 생활에서 처음 있는 일일 것이다. So what did I write? So I recently, that was a first for me. I recently went bungee jumping. That was a first for me. 저는 최근에 번지 점프를 했어요. 제겐 처음 있는 일이었습니다. 2번. If that will be the first in my country's history. If we put a man on the moon, that will be the first for me. 우리가 사람들을 달에 보내게 된다면 우리나라 역사상 최초로 있는 일이 겁니다. One day Korea might put a man or woman on the moon. It remains to be seen what will happen too. Remember, scrolling back up, it remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. 아직 확실하지 않다. 두고 봐야 할 일이다. 아직 알 수 없다. So it remains to be seen what will happen to the company's finances. So 회사 재정이 어떻게 될지는 두고 봐야 합니다. And it remains to be seen how, let's say, useful this program will be. 이 프로그램이 얼마나 유용할지는 아직 알 수 없습니다. Alright, now let's move on to the further discussion. 1번. Do you think that video games can cause people to have mental problems? Why or why not? 비디오의 게임이 사람들에게 정신적인 문제를 일으킬 수 있다고 생각하시나요? I think that just depends on how long the person is playing the game and what they're giving up in order to just play games. I don't think a couple of hours of gaming is going to ruin anyone's life. I do think if you're sitting in front of a computer 12 hours a day and not being very constructive, I think that can do some sort of mental health problems. And it depends on the game as well. Like, some people spend hours and hours on, some war games or StarCraft or whatever they're playing, League of Legends. Other people play, some fun educational games. Not many, but yeah, it just depends on the game and how long you're on there, and it can cause mental problems, I think. Just depending on how long you're on the video game. 2번. Do you know anybody who has an addiction to something? If so, give details. 무언가에 중독된 사람을 알고 계신가요? 그렇다면 자세히 설명해 주세요. An addiction. I have an addiction to coffee. Speaking about coffee, I shouldn't show the brand, but yeah, I drink coffee on a daily basis, and I don't even do it for the taste. I do it just because it's become a habit. I don't even know if caffeine affects me anymore. I did get an addiction to the Hot Six kind of drinks, the energy drinks, where I was drinking 1 or 2 a day, and I've had to really push myself not to drink those anymore because they're not great for your body. I would say that I was really addicted to intaking those caffeine drinks, and I'm still addicted to drinking coffee. But like I said, it's more of a habit rather than anything else, in my opinion. I don't think I need it. I think I could go without it. But just every morning before work, I grab a coffee like many other people. And yeah, I sometimes drink up to 3 cups a day, which is not great. But it's just the way I am as well. So other people, I know people who are addicted to smoking, drinking, addicted to eating. I have a bit of an eating addiction, I think. I can't stop eating, which makes me hungry thinking about it right now. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's class, and I'll see you on the next class.
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
Compensate. compensate,
foster,
foster,
keen,
keen,
standard practice,
standard practice,
wholesome,
wholesome,